What an amazing, beautiful view. We're right here on the Potomac River, right at historic Mount Vernon, the home of General George and Martha Washington. We've got a great episode for you today. This one again has to deal with the fisheries, one of the most important parts of what's happening here on the estate. This episode is a special one. It has to do with what happens during this giant fish catching operation that they have. This one's got a great recipe. You're going to enjoy it. Let's experience this one. So good morning, Deborah.
Good morning, John.
We did planked shad yesterday. It was amazing. Wonderful tasting. That was a lot of fun, and I've never done planked shad before, that's for sure. What have we got today?
Catfish stew.
Catfish stew. So how does this relate to the shad?
Well, it's part of the meals that we believe were prepared for the slaves during the fishing season at those fisheries. It's an easy, throw it all together into one pot, let it simmer for a long time, just keep replenishing it, adding to it.
Right.
Would have been a great way to service a lot of people.
Did they catch the catfish at the same time?
Yeah, the catfish are bottom feeders, so they're going to be coming up from the bottom in the nets when they're bringing in all those shads.
So they're netting and then are getting that at the same time.
Exactly.
They're a throw-off fish. They probably couldn't preserve them the same way.
No.
So let's eat them right away.
Exactly.
Oh,
exactly.
perfect. So
it's a really simple recipe. It starts with your catfish.
One just like this one, right?
Yeah, just like that one there. Isn't he cute? Yeah.
He's a wonderful guy.
So it would start with your catfish, and then of course you're gonna have to clean that, fillet it, and chop it up into bits. Season that catfish up the way you'd want your stew to taste.
And this one is spiced up, right?
It is spicy.
Okay.
Now the amount of spice I put into it is because of its relation to the fishery cooking that we're talking about. You're going to see spices in the English European diet at this point already here in the colonies, but you're going to see more hot spice happening in the enslaved people's cooking. Okay. Especially when they're cooking for themselves. So, besides the catfish, what do we need in our catfish stew? Okay, well, the first thing you're going to start with is your fat of choice. For the slaves, it would have been either lard or fatback, which they did have access to. Okay. They're not going to have those Virginia hams, but the fatback's something that is going to get spared to the slaves. Okay. So that's your fat that you start with. That's going to melt in the bottom of your pot. Then you're going to add your spring onions. Nice onion flavor. That's right. Soften those up a bit, and then from there, you're going to cover the catfish will go in next with your spring onions in that fat, and then cover that with water. Right. So you got a nice soupy base happening. Right. From that point, you can start to add your root vegetables, which is what we're going to use this time of year in this particular dish because it's the fishing
Leftover in the spring, right?
March, and April. So we've got our sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes. And our regular potatoes. Right. And then when you feel like your stew's getting close to being done, that's when you can add whatever seasonal fresh greens you've already got poking up. And turnip greens were plentiful here at Mount Vernon. Wonderful. So I guess it's time to put these in the pot, right? Let's do it. Okay. So John, first we're going to put this lard in, the fat. Okay. And get that melted up. There we go. And you can go ahead and put the spring onions in. We got our onions, right? Yeah. Yeah, those are sizzling up nicely. That's a nice preheated pot, making us happy. I say you can go ahead and put that yummy fish in. I'm going to add the water now. And if you want to give that another good stir, and now we have our sweet potatoes. Okay, you want the sweet potatoes? In the pot, absolutely. There we are. And the regular potatoes, and now, since the last ingredient doesn't go in until we're ready to almost take it off the pot, the greens, we want to have them wilt towards the end. Give that another good stir. We'll put the lid on, and then in another, really, the beautiful thing about this is it's only going to take as long as it takes those potatoes to soften up, because the catfish doesn't take long to cook up at all. So 30, 45 minutes, we'll come back? Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful. We'll come back then. Sounds good. So this has been on the fire for 45 minutes,
and it's ready to check. Wow, it's really cooking up.
It sure is. Looks like everything's nice and soft in there. Our sweet potatoes are the ones that are going to take the longest, and they're clearly done. So
it's basically ready for the greens.
Ready for the greens.
Okay. And this could have been any spring greens that were available.
Absolutely right.
Perfect.
We're just going to let those wilt up, and I'm actually going to go ahead, since the fire is so hot and
take it off now.
Hot,
right.
I'm going to slide this over.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
And it only just needs a minute or two?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's ready to go just like that, and we can take it to the table?
We sure can.
Wonderful. Well, this stew looks so wonderful. It's got a wonderful smell to it. It's got these crazy, colors and textures in it. I'm ready to give it a try. I'm hungry.
Okay, good. I hope you enjoy.
Let me get a piece of the catfish. Not overdone at all. Still holding together well. Wonderful, wonderful flavors.
Well, I'm so glad that you're enjoying it.
And you wouldn't want to go too much farther before some of these things start to fall apart. But it didn't take very long to cook, really.
No, not at all. In fact, that's what's so nice about cooking over the hot 18th century hearth fire, because I think people are always amazed at how quickly things do cook, but we really have the ability to get that fire good and hot.
Right.
And really get to those root vegetables much faster than most people anticipate.
And those nice big thick iron pots really, hold that heat, and they distribute it so well.
It's true. Now, this was the seasonal version of catfish because of this catfish stew because of this time of year. But if you were making this later in the season, you could use okra, tomatoes. Right. You could substitute what you're putting in. The basic, it's soup with catfish, and then add what you will.
Add whatever you've got, whatever you like.
That's right. That's right.
And you could make an upper version of this, a more expensive version?
You certainly could. You could turn this into a chowder very easily by adding a roll of, literally a ball of butter rolled in flour.
Yep.
You take a little bit of your broth out of the catfish stew into a smaller pipkin or a smaller vessel. So it's hot, and you're dissolving that butter and that flour and tempering it into that. You could add a little cream to make it even richer, and then once that's been tempered, that goes back into the pot, and that'll thicken up in no time, and you've got a chowder.
Wow. That sounds wonderful, but that would be a higher class version of the same thing. Tremendous. Thank you so much for bringing this one and showing it to me and everyone out there. It's so tremendous to hear about these things, but not just to hear about them or just to read about them, but to try them, to smell them, to do them. That's what is so tremendous about what's, being able to do this. So thank you so much.
Oh, John, thank you for coming to Mount Vernon and letting us host you and feed you.
It is wonderful. I really want to thank everyone here. It's an amazing location, an amazing experience to come here. And I just am so excited about, really interacting with this whole situation. I really want to invite anyone, if you're ever in this area, come to Mount Vernon. You need to see this. You need to experience this in any way possible. And I want to thank you for coming along in this video as we savor the flavors and the aromas of the 18th century.